I'm going to compare these two rinseless washes in this video. My favorite's McKee's, and I'm going to try out the Ethos. They were both on sale. I was almost out of my McKee's smaller bottle. Ordered the Ethos, took almost a month because it was back ordered and because it was brand new out on the market on Amazon, and then McKee's dropped their price before I received the Ethos, so now I have two big bottles. So let's give it a test here. I don't have shade in my driveway most of the time. In winter I'll have a little bit more, but I need something that can handle the sun. So let's see how Ethos does. I did notice on the bottle, it does say use it panel by panel, and that tells me it doesn't do so well in the sun. So as a heads up, yeah, it doesn't do that good, especially on the windows in the sun, but you'll see here later. Here's where it says use it panel by panel. Now, some rinseless do much better in the sun, and some of the rinseless don't do so well. So here I am. I'm going to fill up my bucket. I'm using city water. I have a very high mineral content, 477 TDS. I like the McKee's because I don't need to use distilled water. Probably helps. I use it for the detail part. At the end, I always do like a detail / waterless wash kind of thing at the end. I do use distilled water or very low TDS for that. So I filled up my bottles. This is the Ethos. I'm going to test this on the hood of my truck, or excuse me, on the windows first. And I'm going to let it dry. Here's the McKee's. I've got most of the video set up for 2x speed. Obviously, I'm doing voiceover. It's the only way I can even do a halfway decent way of editing it down. Anyway, here's the front of my truck. The driver's side is going to get the Ethos. Passenger side is going to get McKee's N-914. Gonna let these dry about an hour or so. It's getting into fall, Southern California. Still pretty hot out. This is probably the mid 80s, upper 80s today when I filmed this. So here's what it looks like after it's dry. This is Ethos. It does rub off. They're very soft water spots, which is good. And I'm hoping if I re-wet this, they'll, reactivate and come off. But this product does have SiO2, which tends to streak in the sun. So McKee's doesn't say it has that in it. It's probably just polymers and surfactants. So I've got to clear my throat here. So now I'm going to come and reactivate the Ethos. And it appears to come off. And I do it twice. It's kind of difficult. I can tell already that it's not McKee's as far as reactivating. So if you're going to buy this product, definitely listen to the instructions. You want to do it panel by panel. So I reactivate it, wipe it down twice, and then you'll notice that there's still spots on there. And I'm assuming that's the SiO2 that you dried out in the sun there. The wipe marks are on the inside of the window, but the little spots, that's on the outside. Right there you can see it. I didn't notice it so much when I was taking this video, but the next day, yeah, it was definitely noticeable. So here's the McKee's side. You can see there's less product on it. The Ethos is a little thicker. When I reactivate the McKee's, it immediately just comes right off. No problems. And I don't like doing it panel by panel. It's just my preference right now. Maybe I'll change later. But I like the idea of going around my whole truck and just spraying the whole thing down. I've got a battery-operated sprayer, and by the time I get around to the truck again, it's dry, especially in summer. So that's the test on the window. I'll show you another clip of the video on the window. Here's the dirt test. So I've got McKee's on the driver's side, not McKee's, Ethos on the driver's side. Again, I've got some brand new towels. And I'm just going to do a rinse test on these in the solution. I'm going to do the left side of the hood with McKee's. And then I'm just going to squeeze these out. I'm not going to use a dirt guard or anything like that to scrub them. This is the McKee's. There's a slight green color to it, the solution. And then the pink is Ethos. Now, Ethos is very, I guess opaque is the word. It looks like it's polymer-based. And it obviously has SiO2 as well. And then McKee's is a little more translucent. It's more, I believe it's more surfactant-based. But it is a little cloudy too, so maybe it has some polymers in it. Because my understanding, if it's 100% surfactant, it doesn't do so well in the sun. So it must have some polymers in it. So here I am. I'm going to squeeze it together. Squeeze out the solution one at a time. We're going to start with the Ethos. I'm going to keep the dirt on the outside. Just going to give it one big squeeze. And we're going to do this 4 times. You'll see the results of each time I do this. A little bit left. Quite a bit came off. That's the second rinse. This is the third. So far, I'm impressed with this. Just a little bit left. And I kind of run out of solution there, so there's enough for another big squeeze on it. Yeah, I'm impressed. I can hardly, if I didn't know there was dirt on it, I probably wouldn't be able to point anything out on this rag. I'm pointing to where I think the dirt is, but there's like a little shadow there. But again, if I didn't know, I would think it was clean. So here we're going to do McKee's. So it should be the same dirt. It's on the hood of my car. It's the first rinse. Still quite a bit of dirt on there. Here's the second rinse that impressed me with the Ethos. And at this point, I realized, I don't think the McKee's is doing as well. There's still a little bit of dirt there. Something yellow in there. I don't know if a bug got in there. Maybe on the hood. So that's the last rinse. There is a noticeable, not by a huge margin, but definitely in that yellow spot still on there too. So definitely at this point I realized that the Ethos did better than McKee's. And I'll show you them side by side here in just a moment. McKee's is on the right, Ethos is on the left. Ethos is the clear winner. Now I know McKee's cleans my car, so I'm happy. I'm happy I got both. I'm happy I got them both at a fairly decent discount. I got it in a large quantity. I go through quite a bit of this stuff. I'm not a professional detailer, but like I said before, I do spray quite a bit on my vehicles. I use it for a really good rinse. And then I have a pressure washer option too. So instead of rinsing with water, I rinse with Rinseless solution. Camera got a little crazy there. So this is a test for the hood. I let it dry out on the hood. I don't want to do my whole truck with issues. I do have Turtle Ceramic Spray wax on my vehicles. If there's hard water spots, they come off fairly easy with a rinseless detail spray. As long as I keep the ceramic new. In other words, about once a month, I go ahead and reapply the turtle wax. I don't wait 6 months, so as long as it's fresh, I should say. So here it is. It all came off the hood. There's some streaks there. I'm not too worried about that. I go over my vehicle several times. Here I am using the chemical spray option. I like it because it kind of atomizes the solution. And then it'll also rinse, but there's also a rinse function on my, there's the rinse function. So if I've got more dirt, I can go ahead and rinse it a little bit more. There's more, it uses up a lot more of the rinseless solution. That's why I don't typically start with that. And then I have a pressure washer option. If I had some mud, I don't go in the mud. My trucks don't get a lot of dirt on them. That's it. I pre-spray my whole truck, and in summer, by the time I get all the way around the truck, it's dry on the other side. I could do it panel by panel, but this is the way I like to do it now since I got the sprayer, the electric sprayer. So then I go over, like any rinseless wash, I use the multiple mitt method. I'm using a noodle mitt at first here. And then I have some other mitts I like. I actually prefer them better. So when I'm done with that, I completely do my whole truck with the mitts. And I don't do it panel by panel. So again, the solution has dried out by the time I get to the other side. So my last step is I do panel by panel. And I use the double flips for that. They're a thicker towel, and I think it's a good drying towel. But it's also good, I like it for detail at the end. So I take a solution of, in this case, Ethos. I doubled it up, 1 to 128. So at the end, I'm spraying it with this detail solution, I'm calling it, and wiping it down / drying it. So I don't use a drying aid. I'm not using those drying aids anymore. I'm not using a separate detail spray. So if the panel's still wet, I'm drying it. If it's not wet, I'm reapplying, in this case, Ethos in a stronger solution. And I go and I wipe all the spots off and any dirt spots I missed. This is why I like doing it this way. There's always some dirt spots or spots I missed. These nice green double flips, they'll show up with any dirt. They do get saturated with water if the truck is still wet. So usually I'll switch out the double flip before it gets dirty. It's not going to get dirty. I'll switch it out because it's saturated with liquid. And here's what it looks like afterwards. Well, here's a close-up of me reapplying it and doing the detail portion. No spots, even though I let it dry out. It's just the windows. And the windows don't have any turtle ceramic on it, so that might be part of the issue too. Here's some dirt on the double flip. So even though I've pre-sprayed, I've wiped everything down with multiple mitts, there's still going to be some dirt on the vehicle. I know a lot of YouTubers, it looks like it's, you know, one wipe and with a sponge and they're done. But I don't find that the case for me anyway. And here's another example on the hood. At the end, I spray it one last time. If it's still wet, I probably don't spray too much. And give it one last wipe. I don't want to spray too much. I want the double flip to not get saturated. I want to make this the final pass. I want it to be dry. So I'm kind of like using it as a waterless wash / detail. So here's the spots again on the front window and the windshield. I'd already gone over with the double flip, with the Ethos. I'm still getting these spots. And then I had to come in with some McKee's and do a couple passes with McKee's. So the McKee's is kind of saving the day on that. I still like Ethos. I'll tell you at the end why. Here I am with my wife's car. Now, I used McKee's on the whole car until the very end. I came in with the Ethos as a detail spray / drying aid, and I come in and I wipe down the car again. And it turned out great. There was no spots because I was doing it panel by panel as per Ethos's recommendations on their bottle. Works great. Now here I'm touching my car, my truck. This is 2 days later. Very slick. I wouldn't say super slick, but definitely slicker than McKee's. And then this is my wife's car where I just did the Ethos at the very end on the detail part, panel by panel. Not as slick, but I would say slicker than the McKee's by itself. So it's definitely adding some kind of slickness and some kind of protection with the SiO2. I believe on my truck, because I let it dry out and I reapplied the Ethos, that it's a stronger slickness, stronger protection. So as long as McKee's gets the stuff off the windows, I'm happy. And I'm hoping this video will benefit you. And as far as giving you some ideas, and thank you for watching.